It's a protected site for its saproxylic invertebrate interest and the ancients. So we've got about 390 left, we think, and about 8 died last year.
Okay.
We think 3 have died because of the drought. So we had temperatures in the UK of about 40 degrees Celsius for a couple of days. Here I think it got to 37, and then 2 weeks later it torrential rain for about 2 weeks solidly. So it was absolutely burning sun and then completely sodden. So I think we lost 3 from that, and then potentially a few others just from natural kind of decay. Yeah, one of them seems to have just given up. Another one's fallen over. So it's we don't really know. It's just we didn't check the age, no, because I don't really know how to do that without a. We'll have to get the dendrochronologist in there. Yeah. I was just going to say, this site is open to the public and is publicised, so it's a national nature reserve. So we want people to come here, visit them. There's a lot of pressures on the site because of that, because of recreation. But it's also highly protected. So in UK law, this is designated as a triple SI. It was under EU law an SAC, which may or may not exist in the next year, a special area of conservation. So yeah, we've got constant surveys going on. Yeah. So we've got Luke's deer, who you've already mentioned. He does 18 months condition assessment surveys. So every single tree gets condition assessed every 18 months. So it'll go a winter survey, then a summer survey. So you can see it in leaf and out of leaf. And what Luke's, or you probably know this better than me, but Luke's reports have shown that in the last 10 years of haloing around the ancients, the health class has improved massively. So we've now got over 90% of our ancients in the top health class, compared to about 30% 10 or 12 years ago before the haloing happened. So, and the stabilisation works and things. So that's one of the things. And we've just recently started doing vein trapping. So that's specifically on veterinised trees to look at whether or not they're colonised by the saproxylics, so that there's something there for them to move into when the ancients do finally crumble. So Luke's done a really good job of putting that into his reports and has spread it kind of around the tree, particularly the ancient tree forum. And internally, our organisation, the RSPB, we are hoping to put out more publications about this kind of work in the next year or so, so that it is much more well documented that this kind of work does have a good impact. We've got, I mean, Reg, when he does his work, I can send you the reports over if you want to. So every time he does the work here, he does a really comprehensive report of the work that's happened, and then Luke has that when he comes under his condition assessment. So we've got kind of 10 years of data now to say this is exactly what happened for this tree, this is what's happened, this is the result of it. Yeah. This has had a lot of interventions over the years. So starting from the Victorian, so early 1900s, late 1800s, this is where all the iron works come from. Then the 70s, 1970s, these were timber props that then got replaced in the early 2000s with these metal acro prop type ones, and they're on huge concrete bases.
Okay,
huge,
thinking,
yeah. So when there's video imagery of this work happening, and they've got telehandlers and excavators all over the root place. It's astonishing to think that happened 20 years ago. And then obviously we've got the fencing that keeps the public away, but all of that happened. And then the condition assessments on the major oak have shown that it's just deteriorated and deteriorated, and they think it is because the compaction underneath within this tree area is so great that there is about 2 metres of solid, almost like concrete life sand. So the sand around here, the soils around here, is so friable and they compact really, really easy. Well, one of the theories is that all of the kind of the work that happened 20 years ago, this is now the response. It's a delayed response to everything, and there's been a lot of work to try and get nutrients to the root systems or aerate the root systems, but actually nothing can get that deep. So that's the next phase that we're working out. So there was a time when, like Jonathan was saying, mulch was applied here, but it was about a foot deep, and then it started to anaerobically digest, and so it was just sat on the top, basically having a detrimental effect. So then they scrape that off in areas. So this has had huge amounts of like lots of different things, all with the intention of feeding the tree, but actually nothing until we've got started getting towards that kind of scientific, let's investigate what's in the soil, let's see what the root system is. So we've had a root radar. What that's shown is that they're only picking up things that are 20 millimetres or bigger. So the fine roots we can't image. But what was interesting is last year we had soil analysis done, and they did 5 pits. So they were about 1 metre by 1 metre, and they dug down to about 1 metre's depth. And they didn't find any roots. They barely any roots that they came into, even though the root radar scan said that they should be there. Yeah, and so that was the worrying thing. So and so we're reinvestigating that, but that's given us a lot of kind of food for thought. So what we're looking towards doing is vertical mulching. So we're going to try, we thought about that, but actually the terra venting type thing, they think that because it's so compacted, it will just blow up and then compact again. So we're going to, what the thinking is we're going to try the pits again and then auger down and then feed into those, and with some compost tea that's made locally from site. We're also going to try potentially foliar feeding, just to give it some sort of nutrient boost, and then looking towards getting more of that analysis to look at sap flow and kind of all of the different things, the processes that are going on, to really understand what's happening with the tree before we then try and apply some techniques to restore it, which I don't think has happened in the past. The technology now is just incredible. So the specifics of that is what we're kind of working out with the soil scientists at the minute. We haven't done that. That's the next kind of soil analysis step, which is the actual interaction between the root systems and the mycorrhiza. Yeah. We're trying to work out exactly how to make that link happen again, because just from that first round of soil analysis, they found that there was very little interaction between mycorrhizae and the roots that they actually found.